Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are unmuted. Paterson, New Jersey, stand up. I am, I don't know, I'm feeling sad this morning. This evening. Not feeling the greatest, but I definitely wanted to come on today to encourage my community to um, just stay unmuted and stay the course. And so if you see this live, if you see me on my page, as you can see, I'm a little emotional, I guess, right? As we all are today. But Patterson, we got work to do. And so tonight, we are unmuted on a special night. We're not usually here on Monday nights, but I definitely wanted to come on to encourage the community to remember what we have before us and to encourage us to fight on and to be ready to take action on tomorrow. And so, if you see this live, I ask you to please share it. This is actually what I'm doing now. This is my first time being able to go live straight from the page, from the Patterson Unmuted page. And so I'm very excited about that. I had to, go through a whole trial period with Facebook. I don't know if you guys can hear the train in the background, but the train is in the background. Because I live here. I'm right here in the fourth ward, um not far from Rosa Parks Boulevard. So I'm here and I'm with you guys. I definitely understand. Hey Patty, how are you? And so if you see this live, Patty, please share with your community. Um and let's talk about it because we got a lot to discuss. Tomorrow we have something big. We have a big day tomorrow. And I want to see us going out to the polls. Now more than ever, do we need to be out there at the polls tomorrow? And so I just shared it on my personal page. Like I said, today is the first day that I think we are 112 days since we launched. 100 and today's the 11th, 103 days. And so with Facebook, it wouldn't allow me to go live from the unmuted page, so I had to continuously go live from my personal page. We hit a milestone. We hit a milestone with Facebook. Facebook required us to be consistent for 30 days or more, and for us to get a certain amount of followers. And we hit that milestone. And I'm very happy that the response from the community has been well received. This is not about popularity. This is not about pushing my agenda. Paterson Unmuted was created for the community, from the cries of the community, understanding the needs of the community. Yes, Patty, we have to go out and vote. And so this platform is about us, it's for us. Being unmuted means no longer staying silent, putting action to these words. We do talking is good. Having ideas and conversing and sharing is great. But tomorrow is where the real change and the real action takes place, because we're going to put some motion, we're going to put some action to the words of what we want to see in our community. We're going to stand up for ourselves and our children, and we're going to do what we need to do when we go into those polls. It's imperative, community, that we all take this seriously, because not just your neighborhood or your family, but the lives and of our children throughout our community depends on what we do. Okay. And so I just want to encourage you, Paterson, New Jersey, we got to stand up for our community. And so I don't want to go too far, because I have a few things I want to talk about. But before I get into it, sadly, we had a tragedy that happened over the weekend as some of us were celebrating Mother's Day on yesterday. We had a tragedy that took place where, two lives were lost and four other individuals were wounded in the gunfire, literally around the corner from my home. As I was saying goodnight to my family, as my sister and brother-in-law and my nephews were driving home, and my daughters were, making their way to their prospective places, right there is where this fire start, these gunshots rang out, sounded like firecrackers. And within minutes, the alarms go off all over the community that another shooting. And now they're calling it a mass shooting. And this is very heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to see that this is continuously happening. So before I get too deep, because we're going to get into it today about what we as a community need to do. But before I do that, I want us to all just let's take a moment of silence on behalf of the lives that have been lost and the families that are preparing to bury their loved ones. Let's all just take a moment of silence to respect, remember, and ask God to cover their families. Thank you. Thank you all for taking that moment. Um, Community, I I like I said, I'm feeling a little emotional. You might hear it in my voice. Um, because I understand, and I hear the cries of the family members of the community, and I'm concerned and I'm scared and I'm worried about our youth and our neighborhoods. And so I understand that we are at a pivotal moment where we can see change upon us. And if we don't move forward and do what we as a community need to do, that change will not come to fruition. Okay. And so I want to encourage the community. Listen, first, like and share this podcast. If you're not following Paterson Unmuted, Paterson, New Jersey Stand Up Unmuted, you're missing out. All right. Because we're in here and we're keeping it real. We're keeping you guys updated and informed and educated. So, first, let me just get that out the way. Like, share, and follow. Share this live. If you're watching right now, I'm asking you to share this live and let your family and friends know that we are unmuted. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, my heart is feeling really heavy, and I am concerned about our community. As you all know, again, we had two young people killed yesterday, and our community is reeling, still reeling from that. We had a lot happen. My commute to work. I don't know about you guys, but my commute to work, it was very hectic. News people outside, the traffic, the police, just everything happening. When I get to work, I'm seeing the remnants of that at my job, and also getting calls and texts from people saying, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We are going to first start with what we can do, and that's vote. Right now, what we can do is vote. We can vote to ensure that we see the change that we want to see. All right, community. I want to ask you something and throw it in the comments because I want to know from you, what does change look like for you? Right? Because again, unmuted is not about telling you who to vote for. Um, giving you the, like my daughter said to me yesterday, because when in my family we talk, and then of course my daughters, they confer to me, "Ma, who do you think I should vote for?" And like my daughter said last night, "Give me the recipe, Ma. Who am I? Who should I vote for?" And we as a family, we come together with how we're gonna vote, and that's what we decided to do, and we did that yesterday. But when I say change, my question to you is, does change mean change in leadership, or does change mean seeing leadership moving in a different direction? When we talk about change, what does that mean to us, right? Are we happy with what we've seen so far in the last 8 years? Because we're looking at incumbents that have been in power for 8 years. Are we happy with that? Or are we ready for something different? Right? Does change mean that we're going to have a change of the guard? Or what does change mean to you? Right? And so I want you to be thinking about that. And, you know, right. Patty asked the question, which of the candidates have discussed strategies? Patty, to be honest, I haven't heard, I don't know about anyone else, but I haven't really heard, besides some talking about recreation and more youth programming and things like that, which Patty, you and I both know because we worked in juvenile justice, we work with children's services. We understand that having those type of programs in place will help to mitigate some of this violence that we're seeing. But that's only a small fraction of it. And we do need real strategies, real solutions. I'm all for community centers. All of those things are great. I'm all for all of these things that we can give to give our kids more interaction, more hands-on touching. But that's really a small part. I've worked in juvenile justice, I've worked in children's services. We're looking at the things that are affecting our communities, our children. One is poverty. One is access to education, right? A reputable education, a thriving education, an education that can take them somewhere. Um, Access to trade, right? So that they can make a living, right? One of the biggest factors to what we're seeing in this violence is poverty, right? So when we're talking about strategies and things like that, and we're not talking about things that will bring people out of poverty, will bring our community from being a community that has a majority of low income, right? We're looking at $30,000, some less, to where we're saying, hey, let's put initiatives and strategies in that'll help bring people's income up, right? Where people will be able to earn more, right? Where people will be able to give their families a better life, you know, a sustainable life, have access to, resources, basic resources, right? Like Paterson is a food desert. Like, hear me, people. Paterson is a food desert. When we say food desert, we're talking about access to food that they can afford, healthy food that they can afford. We don't have that here, right? And so we're a food desert because of the lack of access. So when we talk about strategies, I'm all for. So Patty's question, which let me go back to it, I'm going to leave it there. Patty's question was, which candidate discussed strategies to address the community violence that didn't involve increasing the police, right? And I think I only heard one candidate that talked about recreation, but again, my answer to that, from what I've seen, and if anybody's seen anything different, you can put that in the comments, but from what I've seen, there hasn't been a real clear strategy to um, really alleviating this issue, the gun violence and the continued violence we've seen in the community. I don't know. I've been to a few forums and all of that. No one has really given me or shown me a clear strategy, Patty. So um unless someone has other research, but I know I've been to a few. I've been to a few forums, and I've done an interview or two. I haven't heard a clear. I haven't seen a clear strategy, and it's got to be more than just recreation, because that's not enough. That's only gonna touch a piece, and I know that poverty is one of the biggest issues. That's and the result of poverty is violence. I 1 plus 1 is 2. You understand? So strategy's got to include these things. Okay. Um, so again, I asked the question to the community: what does change mean to you? Like, tomorrow's the election. All right. We just went through good evening. Good evening, everyone. Those of you who are here, I appreciate you for coming on. This is Paterson, New Jersey, Muted with Kamisha L. Rogers Jones. And if you don't know me, I'm seeing new names, which I'm very excited about. Um, and I'm seeing some old favorites. And my name is Kamisha L. Rogers Jones, and I am the host of Unmuted. But what does change look like for you? We just went through early voting. This just happened over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you weren't able to take advantage of that, tomorrow the election is the official election day, and that will begin at 6 a.m. We have over 20 candidates vying for 4 roles, four jobs. One is for mayor. We have 4 candidates there. And then we have 16 candidates for the 3 seats for council at large. Um, the incumbents, we have Mayor Andre Saya for that's running, and then we have the incumbents for at large, which is Dr. Louisa Mims, Marissa Davila, and Farid Uding. And then we have 16 candidates for at large, and three that's running against them. Well, four, that would be 13 running against them, and then 3 running against the mayor. I'm not going to get into a whole list of all these names or anything like that, because I've done enough of that. I've been talking about these incumbents and the challengers for weeks. I'm not going to get into that today. I'm not going to get into the names, because the truth of the matter is, if you haven't been doing your research and you haven't been looking to see who wants to take charge to represent you, I'm going to say to you, get to work. You can go on my page and you can see all the different videos that we've had and the different lives that we've done, because we've gone in depth about it. But tonight, I'm not going to go do a blow by blow of the candidates. I'm just not going to do that. One, we got a lot to discuss, and tomorrow we got a lot to be prepared for. And we're 24 hours away from this election, okay? And we are dealing with a recent shooting that just happened um, about 24 hours ago. Okay, 24 hours ago, we had a shooting in the city that resulted in 2 deaths. 2 weeks before that, we had a shooting that resulted in 1 death, right, and multiple injuries. And I believe in between those two, we had another shooting in the first ward. Community changes upon us. We could start there. People say, well, what can we do? Start there. Let's start there. All right. Because something has to be done. And as a community, we need to go and vote with power. Yes, Sandra, change has to include the village. And what one way for the village to be able to show up is for us to go out and vote tomorrow. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're doing a lot of talking. Um, how do you feel about the response to what we're seeing? Right? Some people cry out and say, we want to hear from the mayor. We want to hear from the council people. Why aren't they doing a press conference? Others say we want to hear from our community boards, NAACP, the different sororities and all these different organizations that host these forums because they, for the community, we want to hear them speak out against it. And we don't really hear that stuff, right? From the different Latino organizations speaking out against what we're seeing, because this is happening to our kids, right? And when we see, in over the 8 years, we've seen many shootings. This is not new, sadly. When we say change, what do we mean? Again, I'm not here to tell you go vote this one out, vote this one in. But I am here to really implore you to get out there and be a part of this change. All right, guys, I'm feeling emotion, right? And I'm trying to keep myself calm. So first, I'm gonna ask you this, because y'all know, for those of you who know me, you know when I get excited, my voice get really loud. But I've been practicing to keep my voice at a good tone. So give me a thumbs up. Somebody in the comments say, "We hear you, Kamisha, loud and clear." Let me know that you hear me. I'm not used to speaking this calm. When I get excited, I get loud. I'm being very calculated with the way I'm speaking, because I can feel it in me and I have to keep telling myself, go down. So y'all let me know if y'all hear me clearly. Somebody just let me know. Kamisha, we hear you. We hear you, Kamisha. All right. I just need to know that y'all can hear me and y'all can hear me clearly. But what does change look like for you? All right. What does progress? Are you tired of hearing from the incumbents and from the people in these seats already who say, oh, we're moving towards this, we're moving towards that, thank you? Or do we want to see real change happening? Zelly, don't do me. These my people, y'all. They know me. And I'm trying my best not to get loud. My friends always say, you always yelling at us. I'm trying not to. So if y'all hear me, I'm really doing my work. I'm trying to do my work voice. But I just want y'all to understand how important this is. We gotta get out there and vote. All right? I'm asking you, what does change mean for you? But I want to let you know that change means just that we got over 60,000 registered voters. And in the last mayoral election, only 16,000 people came out and voted. That means that over 43,000 people set out. And you allow 16,000 people to make a choice for you. And what I'm saying to you now is that change starts with us. Change that. Get up and go vote tomorrow. Start with that change. We cannot expect these elected officials, these organizations, to take what we're saying seriously if we don't show up for ourselves. This is our community. These are our kids. And no one is coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. It's up to us to save our children. And we start with these elected officials that making sure that they're doing what we need them to do. And then we go into our communities and we make sure that we as a community are doing what we need to do to save our children. So when I ask you, it's almost a rhetorical question, but I want to hear from you. What does change mean for you? Because for me, change means getting up off my seat and getting to those polls. There's no reason that we have all of these people registered voters and only 16,000 will show up. And you're mad at the mayor? And you're mad at the council people? Who's going to hold them accountable? There's no one holding them accountable. Community changes us. Change the way we move. Change what we do. Let them know we're not playing. We're going to hold you accountable. Start with these voting. That's how we let them know we're not playing and we're not just lip action. Because when we do that, then they can't just come to us with these little, book bags, chicken dinners, citations, donations. That's not enough. We want do your job. That's cute. Do your job. Community. Are you happy? Tell me this. How have you, your family, your neighborhood, are you thriving? In the last 8 years, has your community been thriving? Are you on an upscale? Are you guys going up? Has your quality of life gone up? Huh? Has your access gone up? You tell me. So then that's when I say change, that's what I'm talking about. All right, community? That's what I'm talking about. Some of the people they're expecting us not to vote. These people already say they already know who's gonna win. They counting on that 16,000. And see, they studied. Listen, this is an art. They've studied the 16,000. Okay? Because this is a steady 16,000 who vote. Come up. Continuously come and vote. This is a steady number. So you got people, they study the voting. So they get to see, okay, this area of this community, they tend to vote this way. This area of this community, they tend to vote that way. And you're wondering why. I'm about to hit you to game if you don't know. And you're wondering why. Well, why they don't come to this area? Did y'all vote? Why would they? Well, they seem to always be in this ward. Let's look at the numbers. Did they vote? Did they vote? G. Greer posted a grid for you guys to look at, where he showed you in the last election the numbers and what areas by the lowest. Fourth ward was the lowest. Fourth ward was the lowest. Let me go find that. Let me find that so I can read that to y'all. Let me go find that for you. Okay, here we go. This is, so we got, actually, my numbers are wrong. It's 80,000. Check that. So not even 80,000 80,000 plus registered voters. Okay. 16,205 came out and voted. All right. Andre Saya got in the last election 7,835 votes. Gal got 1,581. Luis Velez got 700. Mike Jackson got 1,611. Alex Mendez got 4,397 votes. And then 81 was write-in. And total was 16,205. Say that, Zelly. Listen, when I tell you this is a science, listen to me, community. Listen to me, y'all. Because we unmuted tonight. We unmuted. If you're wondering why your area, your neighborhood isn't getting serviced, roads, quality of life, lights, look, just lighting, right? Quality of, you're looking at the road resurfacing. Look at River Street. Okay, look at Governor Street. You're wondering, you say to yourself, man, why our streets never get paved? Zoe said it's even deeper than that, right? Because you could pull up data, they all interchangeable. They both the same. And you're able to see who don't vote in elections. Wait, what's the, where is it? He said it's even deeper. When I pull up voter data, I know what house votes and how often. If you don't vote in the municipal elections, no one is going to bother knocking on your door. So not only are they not going to bother knocking on your door, but if you don't vote in municipal elections, nobody's going to care to do anything in your neighborhood. Because what you gonna do about it? Not go out and vote? They not answering to you. Look, you can't get mad at the 6th Ward for getting their road surface, for their downtown area looking the way it looks, for their quality of life being up above par. You can't be mad at them when you look at their numbers and see how they vote. How the numbers that come out to vote. Of course they're answering to that. And I know you're saying that, oh no, they shouldn't do that, but they are. So what are you going to do about it? How do you change it? Community, we have the power. We have the power to improve our life, or we got the power to allow them to give us whatever they want, which is mainly scraps for some of us in some of our neighborhoods. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to do this. The 4th Ward had 1,229 people come out and vote. Oh my God. Guys, no, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm right. 1,229. 5th Ward, 1,472. The 1st Ward, 1,795. 2nd Ward, 2,317. 3rd Ward, 2,611. And the 6th Ward, 4,391. If you don't care, why should they care? And I hear it. I can hear it, right? It was like in my spirit, I can hear it. I can hear people saying, well, they should care. That's what they're elected for. You didn't elect them. You didn't vote. So what are we crying about? No, they should be doing their job. The truth of the matter is they are doing their job. They're answering to the voters. 16,000. They are answering to the voters, the 16,000. You can look at the graph. It tells you what areas had the higher votes. So now you look at what areas get answered to. Their quality of life, their needs are being met. What areas? You can follow that from the graph. 6th Ward, 3rd Ward, 2nd Ward. Listen, community. When you don't vote, come on now, Miss Mac. When you don't vote, you don't have a voice. That's what I'm here to let you know, that this voting thing is your power. It's your voice. And you guys have been muted. When I say Paterson is unmuted, I'm not just talking about talking. Let me calm down because I can hear my voice getting loud. I'm not talking about that. Do a lot of this. I'm talking about vote. I'm talking about action. Talk is cheap. We do a lot of talking. When I say unmuted, I'm not talking about your mouth. Yeah, we do all the talking already. I'm talking about real accountability, and it starts with the vote. Community. We are upon it. Change is in our face. It's right at the kick that door in. Get to them polls. Community, change is upon us. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I know, Miss Darlene, I'm trying not to yell. I get too emotional. I'm not emotional because I don't want to, oh, she emotional. It is passion. But I want to know that you hear me and you understand me. Change is upon us. And it's not just us talking. It's not just us sharing videos. It's not just us recording. It's not just us catching a dumper, but it's making sure we go vote for the person that's going to prosecute the dumper and make sure the dumpers know they can't do that here, right? That's what we talking about, all right? When we're talking about real change here, we're not just talking about, I'm going to record the dumper. No. I'm going to go vote for the person that's going to make sure dumping cease in this city. That's what I'm talking about. That's the change. Look, videos is nice, okay? Lives are nice, all right? So a post, viral post, I get it. It's nice. But what's really going to bring the change we want to see is the vote. It's the vote. And you need to know that if you have not voted and you're wondering why your community, your area, why? Because you haven't voted. And they have the data. They see it. They know that this area does not vote. So you're wondering why your street not paid. You're wondering why you don't have lights on your street. You're wondering why garbage pickup can be sporadic. You're wondering why, and you're wondering why, and you're trying to say to them, and I get it, oh, they need to do their job. Hold on. Can I ask you something? Community, for real facts, real talk right now. What's your job? What's your responsibility in this? Do we have any responsibility to our quality of life? Do we have any responsibility to our making sure our basic needs are met? Do we have any responsibility to making sure that our kids feel safe in the community? Do we have any responsibility? What's our responsibility? How are you able to tell somebody else what they should be doing and you won't do what you should do? You telling me what's in my eye and you got, oh, Kamisha, you got a little dust in your eye. Well, I need to tell you, you got a stick in yours. See, that's what we do. I can see what everybody else got in their eye, but oh, Kamisha, honey, you got a little dust in your eye. Well, sweetie, you got a stick in yours. All right. So how about we all just clean our eyes out and do what we need to do? Community, we unmuted or we just talking? We unmuted or we just pointing? Are we really unmuted or we getting this work done? Are we unmuted? Listen, we mad at the preachers, the pastors. We mad at the NAACP and the local Hispanic groups. We mad at the council people. We mad at the mayor. We mad at this one. We mad, and no, you're not mad at yourself because you didn't vote. You're not mad at yourself because you haven't voted in the last 8 years. You're not mad. So you're mad at everybody else, but not mad at you? Come on, let's really get unmuted, community. Listen, I'm not, and please know this. Please know, community, I love you. I love you. I am not here to beat you up. And if you take this as a beat up, please know I'm not. I'm not beating you up. But right is right. I heard my cousin April say it, and wrong is wrong. I cannot hold the mayor accountable. I cannot hold Mims accountable and not hold us accountable. Accountability goes both ways. And we have not shown up for ourselves, and we want somebody else to show up for us. How am I showing up for me? I'm going to teach the mayor how to treat me. I'm going to teach the mayor what my community needs. I'm going to show you what needs to be done here. How do I do that? Start with voting, community. Tawanda, listen, community. We have the power to save our own community. I'm going to save my family. I'm going to save my community. We, It's me. It's look at the mirror. It's me. Where's the change? It's me. I'm the change. You the change. What the kids is out here saying? You the birthday. No, no. You the change. You the change. That's what instead of saying you the birthday, say you the change. No, girl, you the change. No, boy, you my brother, you the change. Oh, you the accountability. It's us. Community, it's us. And change is upon us. You hear me? I can taste it. I can feel it. It's all over me. Change is here. You the change. It's you. It's you. You're the change. And tomorrow is the day to really be the change maker we say we want to see. I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them better than I can tell them. Listen, you guys are wondering why. Oh, why I see them. They're always at the senior buildings. They make sure because our seniors are voters. They're big voters. They come out hard. All right. So our seniors gonna show up. So that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, I need y'all to understand that when y'all looking at these people and not just the incumbents, because the challengers are doing the exact same thing. They have the research too. They have the numbers too. So you're wondering, well, they didn't come to my neighborhood because y'all don't vote. Because it's been shown that in the last 2 elections, your neighborhood didn't come out. So they said, why bother? So they went to the neighborhoods that vote and they're talking to them. Listen to me, community. I'm just trying to give you the information that I know. I'm trying to inform you. I'm trying to let you know why, when we ask the why this street hasn't been paved, why this, look, guys, guys, Teddy, I know you see me on live. guys, guys, you wondering why they took 20 years for a street to get paved? River Street at that. What area is it in? Governor Street looks the way it looks. What area is it in? Huh? You looking at the first ward? My aunt lived on North Fifth, and if you know North Fifth between Circle Ave and Temple Street, what area is that in? And so look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Has been a broken system, and they've been playing with our livelihoods too long, but we've let them. So, community, what are you going to do about it? Not pay for years, guys. That Miss Mac, you teach people how to treat you. You hear me? Community. Oh no. Are we done? Are we done? Teddy is texting. Teddy, I'm on live. Oh my God. Community. Oh Lord, I left my Instagram people on Instagram, y'all. Listen, what are we doing? Yo, listen, I came over here, Instagram. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm here. Community, what are we doing? Listen, yeah, I know, right? I just told him that I just texted him to him I'm on live. But because I can't answer no calls, I'm getting calls. Listen, because last night, if for those of you who didn't know, or I'm sure by now everybody knows, we had another, and they're calling it a mass shooting. How sad is that? That this is a mass shooting where people are being killed on the street, like 6 people injured, 2 people passed away. And it's continuing to happen, and we're saying to ourselves, oh, they need to do this and they need to do that. Paterson has over 80,000 registered voters, y'all, and only 16,000 of us go out. And I say us because I'm in the number. I'm in the number. I'm in the number. I vote. I vote. So you can understand my frustration because I vote, but I live in an area where the voting is low. So where I live, we're not getting what we deserve. I live in the fourth ward. We're not getting what we deserve. Okay, we're not. Our representation. That's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that because I can say a lot about that. But listen, I want to. Our children need us. If you're not going to vote for yourself, can you vote for the kids? Our children need somebody to stand up for us, for them. If you're not going to vote for yourself, can you vote for the kids? Can you do that? Listen, I work with youth, right? I do a number of jobs because look, we can't live without more than one job, right? So in order for me, a single woman, to survive, I work multiple jobs, right? And one of my roles as a social worker, I work with youth for a nonprofit when we do violence intervention. Okay. And so today when I came in, I wanted to do a check-in with them, right? Because I know if I'm feeling this way, I know my kids are feeling this. Okay. My kids are between the ages of 11 and 17 years old. So I know when I say my kids, because you hear me, this is my job, y'all. I'm not talking about my children that I birthed. I'm talking about my kids from my program that I work with. These are my kids, y'all. You get what I'm saying? These are our kids. So I got to work to our children. Yes, our next generation of leaders. These are kids. So when I got to work with my kids, right, I had to check in. Because again, like I said, this I'm feeling it. I'm hurting. My heart hurt. I want to cry. All right. I want to cry for my community. I want to cry. All right. I feel like crying when I go to work and I'm working with people who not from here. And they're saying to me, Kamisha, what's going on? And asking me all these questions that's politically and culturally in that they have no clue, right? And they want us to answer for them. Well, why are they? Shut up, right? This how I feel because my heart is breaking. This is my community. Right? And I gotta go to these places and people, oh God, you Paterson? Shut up. Right? So I try to stay professional and but I don't want to hear it. So I go to my other job with my kids and I say to them, come sit, let's talk. And so I asked them a few questions and I want to share it with you guys. I want you to know what the kids are saying, right? And so I checked in with them and I said, I said, I know you guys heard about what happened. And a few of them was like, yeah, they live in the neighborhood. I live right around the corner. Some don't live around the corner, but they did hear about it. And they, I was like, I know it's affecting you. I know this affects you. And I wanted to hear from them how they feel, right? And so one of the questions I asked them was, if you could speak to those in charge of making you feel safe, right? Because I asked them, I said, how you feel? I said, tell me about, this shooting happened and 2 people were killed. How does that make you feel about being here in Paterson, living in Paterson? Because they live here, right? And like I said, some of them live in the neighborhood. So one of the kids said, I feel scared. One said, I'm sad. A couple of them said that. I'm sad. One said, they're confused. They're trying to figure out why. They want to know the why. One said, hold on, because I have the note. I took notes. I wanted to read it, right? But the main thing was they feel sad, they feel scared, and and I said to them, I said, so if you could talk to the people in charge of making you feel safe. Because I'm like, do you feel safe here? I asked them, do you go outside? Are you able to go outside? I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted of my granddaughter. And she told we were at Vera Ames Park, and this is the weekend of the shooting on 10th Ave. And she's 5 years old, 6 years old, and I just want to play. So I said to the kids, do you feel safe? Like, do y'all get to go outside? One kid said, we go outside, but we only can play in the yard of our building. We're not allowed to go outside the gate. They used to be able to, but now they can't. One child said, I don't even come outside. I just stay in the house and play my game. Okay. Another child said, I feel safe enough to go down the street to my friend's house, but that's it. Like, we go in between houses. They don't feel safe to come outside. These are kids, 11 to 17. This ranges, all right? I said, okay, I understand. I said, because I don't feel safe sometimes either. I'm sad and I'm scared too, right? I'm scared for my safety. I'm scared for our kids' safety, right? Because bullets don't have no name, all right? So I said to them, if you could speak to the adults, because it's the adults, we're in charge. If you could speak to the adults that have the job of making you feel safe, making sure you're seen, helping you work through the sadness, trying to prevent the sadness, what would you say to them? How can they help you? How can they make you feel safe? One kid said, can you tell me how to protect myself from a gun? We were on live a few weeks ago. Justice Figueroa still talked about how he gives tips to the kids that if they ever find themselves in a situation where they're in the crossfire, what they should do. We see mass shootings in schools all the time, and we do these mass shooting drills. Is this what we've come to? The kid said to me, I want them to tell me they need to teach us how to protect us from the guns. What can we do? Do I run in my house, try to close the door, lock the door? Like, I don't know what to do if this happens. Another kid asked for more security because for them, I guess if they see police or something, they feel like that will help. Okay. Another kid said, can we create more safe spaces? They don't want to just play in their backyard. They want to be able to go to the park, right? They don't live far from Vera Ames Park, but they're not allowed to go there. Right? So this is what our children are asking us. Community. All right? This is me asking them, tell me, what can we do for you? Question to y'all, can we do this for them? I know this administration right now, they're really, one of their things that they're boasting about and they're happy about, which is not a bad thing. One of the things that they've accomplished is that they've been able to redo all these parks, right? Vera Ames Park just got done. It's beautiful. My kids live right down the street. They can't go to that park. Their mom doesn't allow them to go to that park. They can only play in the backyard of their building because their mom doesn't feel like it's a safe space for them. All right. So how can I say to you that, oh yeah, A+ for redoing my park, but my block, the path to the park isn't safe enough for me to travel. I can't walk down the street to that beautiful redone park. I can't walk down the street to enjoy these parks that you've redone. So I hear, we hear all of that. But how can we enjoy it? I was just there when this shooting happened, April 18th. I was at Vera Ames Park. That's the park that I was at with my granddaughter, where the kids were running because somebody said they had a gun. And she's 6 years old, and she's like, I just want to have fun at the park. Community. Like, if our kids can't look to us to give them the same space. If our kids can look to us for making sure their path is easy, if our kids can't look to us, who do they have? Who will they have? And so I'm out here today because this was supposed to be a live where I talked about incumbents. I was going to talk about the number 4A, 2A, 3A, 6A, but instead, unfortunately, we had a shooting, and it's like, look, I need the community to understand that now more than ever, we need you to show up. Now more than ever, we need you to vote. That when you say accountability, when you say I'm going to hold people accountable, you got to look in the mirror because you are people. Accountability is you too. And if we got 80,000 registered voters and only 16,000 is coming out to vote, who's responsible? If you're unhappy with what you're seeing in your community and you haven't voted, you're responsible. Oh, no, they should do their job. What's your job? Because guess what? They can't do the job without us voting or not voting. And if we're not showing up and we're not really having real accountability, when you get people in office and initially they're saying, yes, I'm here for the community, but then at some point, sometimes people moral compass gets skewed some way and they start thinking and it's about them. It's about them furthering their career, their family, their friends. And they don't have nobody with the checks and balances, nobody holding them accountable. They do what they feel. We hear it all the time in the city council. I'm doing what I feel. I don't care about your feelings. I'm being real with you. I don't care about your feelings. I didn't vote for you because of your feelings. I voted for you because you said that you would do the job for the community. Not based on how you feel. Your feelings are subjective. It's not based off of facts. So I could care less about how you feel. Have you talked to the community? What do they want? And have you seen that? Feelings is subjective. It's emotional. But at the end of the day, what is the community saying? We want A and B. Well, I don't care what you feel. I voted for you. I hired you. Do what we want or you can go. You see how that works? I work the job, the role that I have. I'm not able. There are things that I have to do at my job, right? That as now, look, I'm not out there murdering nobody or anything like that, y'all. What I'm saying is that my job, right? I'm a social worker, okay? And I work in mental health. So I'm a social worker, but I do a lot of different things, right? So one of my job is that I'm a clinician and I do mental health evaluations, right? There are things that I probably wouldn't do personally with my family, right? This is you guys hear me say a lot about cultural competence and being culturally aware, right? Because there are things that I wouldn't do, right? Personally. But my job requires me to look at all the facts and make an informed decision, not based off of what I would do for my children, but look at the facts of the situation and make an informed decision based only off of that, not my emotions. So I see a lot of things. I hear a lot of things, right? And believe me, it pulls at my strings, my heart. But I got to think. And I got to say, okay, A, B, all right. So logically, the next thing will have to be C. Even though maybe I can go to E, but that's not what I should do. Make A, B, E is my emotions. Okay? A, B, E is my emotion. A, B, C is the facts. Okay? You guys understand what I'm saying? So when we get people who's talking about, I'm doing what I feel, no, that's not why I hired you. And once we start seeing that people are no longer listening to us, no longer have an ear to the community, no longer have an ear to what the people are saying, and now it's going off on their own, and then now they feel empowered to do that. Well, because I think Sheree said it on Housewives of Atlanta. Who gonna check me, boo? Because if you don't vote, what am I listen to you for? I'm gonna tell you, this is why we get so much attitude, y'all. The disrespect the community receives, the attitude that the community receives, a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're not their voting base. The truth of the matter is, not only do they feel like they don't have to answer to you, but the truth is they don't have to answer to you because you're not a voter. So cry them a river. They don't care. And they've shown that. They've shown that. Okay. So I gotta say that. All right. And again, I'm not endorsing or not endorsing anyone. I'm educating you. All right. Because if we got 80,000 voters and only 16,000 voters are coming out to vote, and you're wondering why only certain areas are getting this and certain things are getting that, and certain things are only happening here, and why this one has a camera, and why this one has a police substation, and why the library is closing over here, but the library is staying open over here, and why they look at the data. Like the data tells you that. Why? Because in this area you had, if we only had 16,000, and in this area you have 5,000 voters that came out of 16,000, that's almost a third of the vote. Of course they're going to answer to them. That's almost a third of the vote. Community. Listen, what Carla said, we're begging them to go vote. We're educating you. We're offering you rides to the polls. What more you want people to do? When you going to stand up for yourself? I'm going to teach you to fish. That's all I can do. I'm going to teach you to fish. When you going to stop letting people fish for you and giving you whatever they catch? I'm going to give you, okay, I caught 10 fish. I'm going to give you these two. They're not that big, but it's enough. It'll keep you alive. That's what we're getting right now, y'all. We're getting enough just to keep us alive, and we barely staying alive. Community, tomorrow the polls open at 6 a.m. All right? The polls open at 6 a.m. And then they close at 8 p.m. All right? Polls close at 8 p.m. We've done a lot of talking. I launched this podcast March 9th. March 9th, I will launch this podcast. But way before this podcast, if you know me, I've made it my mission. I believe that this is what I was born to do, right? Inform, empower, educate. And that's what I'm doing. I'm using my voice. I'm using whatever influence, little bit of influence I have. I'm using my knowledge. I'm using my education, right, to inform, empower my community. So way before March 9th, I've been doing this, talking to you guys about this. And then I just really had the idea, you know what, I'm going to do a podcast where I'm going to be committed to this being a regular occurrence, bringing officials on, because it's not just about the election, but even after the election, right? Talking to our official, our local officials, so we understand who's responsible for what, so we know who we're holding accountable, right? But I say that to say March 9th, I launched this podcast, and every episode I've done It's been about educating you, empowering the community, keeping you informed, letting you know who's who, sharing forums, sharing lives, sharing platforms, all of these different things so that our community can so you can't say I didn't know. So I made sure I did my part to make sure you know. And so now we are on the eve of the election. It is May 11th, 9:08 p.m. All right. We are on the eve of the election. So consistently, and I'm not saying I've been inconsistent, but I'm saying consistently for Unmuted, we have continuously shared, informed, educated, shared, informed, educated. We have kept it consistent since March 9th. And now the eve of the election is upon us. What I can say to you is, now, after we have shown you how to fish, get your rod and go fishing. May 12th, 6 a.m., the polls open. Get your rod and go fishing. All right? And cast your vote. Take your mama, your sister. I took my girls, my one daughter, and I'm encouraging my other one, because early voting was good to do for those of us who work early. But I'm not even gonna get into that mayhem, right? Because that's a whole nother podcast, and we ain't got all night. But now it's time to go fishing. We've talked a lot. I've seen a lot. All right, I've been on a lot of different pages. I'm seeing a lot. I'm being tagged to this, and people inboxing me this, and all of these things. So I'm seeing it all over. This one, and that one, and this one. And okay, I'm like, all right, good, right? So tomorrow is the day for us to show up. Guys, we're done. Class is dismissed. Now it's time for the real action, the real test. And that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow, guys. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are you afraid? Right? Because I know some people are like, I don't know if if I can. Some of us are like, I'll just vote for what I know, because we're afraid to try something new. Again, I'm not here to convince you who to go vote for. What I will say to you is that you can't be scared to take a chance. Look at where you are, how far we've come. If you're happy with that and you want to continue to move in that direction, then you vote that way. Look at where you are and where you come. And if you're not happy with that and you want to try something different, then you look at those candidates that match or almost match what in answering to your needs and your community's needs, and you vote for that. But the key term and the key action is vote. You can't afford to sit this out. We can't keep sitting it out. The municipal election is just as important or even more important than the general election. Because these are the people that really speak to your needs right here in Paterson. And some of y'all will only come out for the president, and he ain't even thinking about you. But you won't come out for the city council person who gets to vote on your taxes, gets to vote on legislation that directly affects you right here. But you'll go vote for the president that he ain't even thinking about you. Community, it's time. All right? I could stay on here all night, but I'm not. I can't stay here all night. All right? I got to let you go so that you can rest and get up early and vote. And don't be distracted or set aback by the distractors, because if the weekend is any indication on what we can expect at the polls, um, it's going to be a little chaotic. So I would say for you, excuse me, don't let that distract you either or deter you. All right, because it's the less people will go to suppress votes and prevent people from really voting and taking action. That really tells you why it's so important. Why voting is so important. All right, guys. So we're at the finish line, okay? And we want to see change. As a community, we're grieving for our kids, for the young people that have been taken too early, too soon. All right. Um, you heard firsthand from my kids, our kids, the youth of Paterson, and we've spoken clearly on change, on accountability, on taking action. All right. We've done all of that. And I can't stay here all night asking you to go vote, 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 vote. I need to go to bed. I need to take a shower. I need to go to sleep. Um, so I can't stay up all night. I can't babysit. Like you guys got to do it yourself. I voted already. Me and my family voted yesterday. So after the stream ends and the comments stop and it's done, like it's done. The only thing left for us to do is to get up tomorrow. For those of us who didn't take advantage of the early voting, the only thing to do now is to get up and go out to the polls tomorrow. And they open at 6 a.m. And I want to encourage you to show up for yourself, for me, show up for me, show up for my kids, because I showed up for you and your kids. So could you show up for me? Show up for yourself, but show up for me too. Show up for your neighbors. All right. Show up for my kids at my youth program. Okay. Show up for the families that have lost a son and a daughter. All right. Show up for them because they need change and they need us to show up as a community. We are the savior. It's us. I'm the village. You the village. You're the change. All right. Show up. This power is ours. It's here in the vote. It's in my hand. I gotta go and press buttons and then review and cast my vote. That's your power. This is it. All right. So show up. All right. It's not the mayor. It's not the council. It's you. You're the change. Okay. And so I'm asking you, show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for the community. The polls open at 6 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. If you don't know where you need to go to vote, I'm in the comments. I'm gonna post a link. Or Tiffany, if you still on, can you post a link in the comments for them to be able to see where their vote is? All right, but show up, guys, and go vote. All right, and I'm gonna be checking in periodically during the day because I'm gonna be checking and just seeing where we are. I'm not gonna go live, but I will post videos and updates periodically. I'll post the time and all of those things so that you guys know, what's happening. But most of all, show up. All right, and do me a favor when you vote, and if you get to social media, hashtag unmuted. All right, and tag me because I wanna say congratulations. I wanna say thank you for showing up for us in your community. Hashtag we unmuted. All right, Paterson, New Jersey, stand up. Hashtag because we didn't come to play. We're not coming to play. All right, so there's no excuse to stay home because you are the answer to your problems, to your community. to what's going on. So don't stay home. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany plugged it there. And so all I can do now is just ask you to show up, community. Share this live. If you're not following my unmuted page, I ask you to follow my unmuted page because I won't be going live from my personal page anymore. And although my unmuted page is open, um the traffic, all of that is going to come through my through, I mean, not my unmuted, my unmuted page is open. So come here, not my personal page, because one, I want to keep the two separate. This is community, this is objective view. It's some passion, but it's definitely objective. I'm keeping it straight facts and not about me, because if it was about me, I would be telling you who I voted for and who you should vote for. But if I'm not here to do that, I'm just want to empower you and encourage you to vote. Come out. Let's increase that 16,000. Can we double it? Can we triple it? Let's increase that. Can we double that number? That 16,000 been holding strong for years. Let's double that. All right. Get your kids out there, your young adults, and get out there and vote. All right. Our kids want safe spaces. They want to feel protected. They want to be able to walk to the store. They want quality of life. They want education. They want all of these things. And it's up to us to vote that and make sure they get it. If you don't want it for yourself, want it for them. Okay. So I'm asking you, show up tomorrow. Okay. 6 a.m. All right. Because you want better. All right. Because you want to take ownership, because it's us. It's on us. We're going to take ownership of our neighborhoods. We're going to take ownership. All right. And I want to take ownership of my community. So I'm going to vote. And I did. So I encourage you to do the same. I'll again be out tomorrow. I'll give some updates and everything. Your voice is your power, community. Is our issues, is our community, and it's our voice. And I'm encouraging you to no longer be silent, but keep it unmuted. All right, guys, I'm Kamisha, and this is Unmuted. Paterson, New Jersey. Stand up, stand tall, and stand strong like I know you are. All right. Good night, guys. I love you. And I hope to see you at the polls. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for being on. I gotta go through this. Figure, I'm new to the podcast. I'm new to the streaming, so take a little while for me to log out. My end stream take a couple minutes, but I love y'all. I really do. I love my community. I love Paterson. Paterson, New Jersey, stand up. We are unmuted. Good night, everybody. Good night.